What's going on, guys? It's GBP baby. Welcome back to another video. Apologies for the lack of videos this week. I am only going to be posting today and tomorrow, and then I should be back to normal schedule from Sunday. But yeah, let's dive straight into things. So we're going to be starting on euro, dollar, and you can see that we've had quite an interesting week so far. You can see that Monday opened with a strong move to the upside after the bank holiday that we had on Friday, or holiday, American holiday, so to speak. Then we had quite a bit of a consolidated day on Tuesday, as you can see right here, and Wednesday today as well. We've had quite a still day. So moving to the rest of the week, I would like to think that we would see more expansion, especially considering we've stayed very range bound on Tuesday. So moving into Thursday and Friday, I'd like to think we'd start to see more expansion, etc. There's a few things on this week, on this daily, I do want to take a look at. So first of all, on the weekly, you can see we've traded up into a fair value gap, traded through it, and then price is just looking like it's about to leave it now. And if we go to the daily, you'll see that there's also a gap right here, which I want to bring our attention to, that price has failed to close inside. So we traded into it once on Monday, traded through it on Tuesday, and then Wednesday we've tapped into it as well. But it looks like we're finding resistance at this level. So we're seeing continued resistance at 3 points here, which means that moving into Thursday, there's very much potential for us to continue to see that struggle into that higher range and potentially anticipate some more downwards price action back inside of the weekly range. So with that taken into account, let's go to the 4 hour. You can see here's the consolidation I was talking about that we witnessed, and only now as of 3 p.m. New York, you can see that we're starting to see some quite aggressive movement outside of this range. So it'll be interesting to see if this low gets taken out right here from this green candle. If we manage to trade through that, it's likely that price is going to want to start diving down into the discounts, and I'll simply be looking at this as sell side liquidity, and then I'll be looking at this fair value gap as a target on the sell side. And this is all assuming we do manage to stay below this range, and just looking at how price is failing. Look at how volume is sitting in it here, closing absolutely gorgeously inside of that range, but closing below it, and again we've just opened on the 4 hour, and it looks like price is going to be trading on lower. We opened about 3 hours ago, but my point is price is starting to roll over into the edge. So as we move into that Asia session in a couple of hours, I wouldn't be surprised if we saw some more downwards price action, but nonetheless we're definitely stuck between this low and this high. So that means, I'm obviously anticipating that now that we're on the south side of the curve, as in the current trading range, it should be able to use that 50% level as discount, and then we can start looking at that 25% level as a target as well, which happens to be lined up with a fair value gap and a bullish order block. So let's get that 25% level marked out, because this can also be a south side target, like so. So now we have two targets, first this low, and then right here, and then here would be overzealous, but we can talk about that tomorrow. So moving on to the 15 minute, you can see again heavy consolidation, not exactly the best of days to be trading in, but you can see this low is very clear, as in there's no reason I'd anticipate price not to want to trade into that. And then again, we do have a nice fair value gap here on the 15 minute. So now we have a layered fair value gap, because there's one on the hourly, one on the 15 minute. Let's take a look at the 5 minute. You can see that fair value gap still exists. So I do believe that price is going to want to try and target right here. So let's get that delineated, and it'll be interesting to see if we can get ourselves down into that. And then just looking at price action in general as of recent, this back and forth price action, the way we're trading through these up close candles, when you see up close candles constantly getting traded through, so here been traded through, here it's just been traded through. I'm going to look at the last up close candle right here, and that should provide nice resistance for us to help roll on into the south side ideally, and then I'd want to target down here. So that's just something to take into account on a lower time frame, but it should be interesting nonetheless. So with that taken into account, let's go to GBP USD. And obviously if we're expecting that dollar is going to roll over to the downside, there's very much potential for pound to trade higher, and that makes sense because we have traded into a bullish order block on pound. So that means we traded into a strong weekly PD array, and there's very much potential for us to trade higher now. So let's go to the daily, and you can see beautiful gap right here, and you can see again prices failing to close any lower than the gap. Here's a bullish order block on the daily as well. You can see that price has tapped into it multiple times, so it'd be nice to see if we can see some expansion to the upside. But nonetheless, we're still stuck in a consolidation. But moving into tomorrow, I'd like to think that we can see some large expansion, and then I'll start looking at these relative equal highs up here as our bullish premium target. So yeah, we do have this large wick, but ideally prices need to come back down there. I would like to think that it can just crawl on up So it'd be nice to see if that's possible. We do have a little break of this last up close candle. As far as I'm concerned, it would be nice if it could hold price. And if it does manage to hold price, there's no reason we can't expect large expansion up into these relative equal highs, and potentially even up here, and then fill this range right here as well, so long as dollar does continue to trade on lower the way it's looking. But I do think, generally speaking, we are staying very range bound. So even though it looks far, or looks like a nice movement in terms of how long of the week we've got left and the amount of movement we're going to get out of it, it's probably going to struggle to get up there, and it's probably going to be quite heavily consolidated. So that's just something to take into account. It's not really the nicest of week. That's another reason I didn't really want to post this week, because I can just see when you have such a big movement on a Monday after a bank holiday, and then Tuesday was so dead, I was like, yeah, this is going to be one of them weeks, and I'm starting to feel it now. But there's no reason that Thursday or Friday might not be able to give us some nice movement. But nonetheless, I'd want to be bullish on pound, and see it, running for these relative equal highs. So we're going to finish up on Euro USD and pretty much the same thing. Start on the weekly. You see price is traded down into a bullish PD array, which is this bullish order block after this low, and it's coming off of it right now. So it'd be nice to see if we can trade up into this range. We have a rejection block level all the way up here, and that does look potential trading point, but it'll be right here first, which I'd want to see get targeted. So it'd be nice to see if we can trade up into that range. And similarly, again, prices failed to take out this low, so that shows a level of bullishness. But again, heavy consolidation. I'm not really a fan, but it'd be nice to see if we can roll on higher in line with dollar. We've got some relative equal highs up here. We've got a nice swing high up here. We've got a fair value gap. There's a reason as to why we want to see price trade higher. I will mark out this high as a nice bullish target. And then in terms of bearishness, again, like dollar, but inverted, we're taking out highs. This high's been taken. This high has just been taken. So we look at the last up close candle. Last down close candle, like here. Drag that through. As far as I'm concerned, price should be able to hold that on the buy side since we traded through it, and help push us into the premium above these relative equal highs, above this swing high, and into this premium where I'd expect price to now get rejected or slow down a bit. So that's going to be everything, guys. I hope that all makes sense. Don't forget to drop a like, drop a comment, smash subscribe, join the Discord. All the links are in the description. And yeah, I'll catch you guys tomorrow. Peace.